Interfacing pressed on, now we take that little back piece and we're going to sew at the shoulder seams to connect all this up, which will then face the back of the neck and then the front lapels. Facing now complete with the back piece. I pressed the seam allowance forward because on the shirt we pressed it backward, and you'll see later how effective that will be. And then the rest of the facing, which I serged the edge all the way around. Again, if you don't have a serger, please do zigzag or finish somehow. You can always roll forward a couple times and stitch down, straight stitch. As well, I carefully clipped quite a ways in, about 5 times along this curve, because now it's just like it is with the collar. We have a stiff piece that we're going to have to put up against a flexible piece and make it fit. And so by having clipped, see how it will spread now and go flat when we need it to. And how I accomplished that was I put the 2 pieces together like that, and evenly made my snip marks. Okay, about 5 of them should suffice. Okay, get the shirt, spread it out, right side facing, flip the collar back. What will be your lapels are here. Take your facing like so, and match up the supple little back piece with the back piece of the shirt. Now, I forgot to make notch marks on my facing. It's okay. I'm going to match up side seams of the shirt with the facing and I'll be fine. If I've cut accurately, it'll be fine. Let's see. Stick the pin in at the seam. Let it come out on the other side. Let's try that again. Taking our time. Seam. Come out on the other side, and if you have to readjust like I do, get it on the seam. You want these seams to match. Pin in place. Wrestle it over to the other shoulder seam. Match them up. Again, stab in at the seam, come out on the other side, make it, and as you can see, I myself am challenged here. Here, we'll do it this way. Get matched up. It's so worth it to do it right. Okay, we're good. Now pin all this in between. Fits good. Now move from here and go to one side or the other. Here's the collar laying down. Here's the little lapel. Here's your facing. And now it would not have stretched out to the corner here had I not clipped, again because of the stiffness we talked about before. So I am going to nail down the corner and then let it spread. Let it spread right out against the shirt. And if I have to go a little deeper than 5/8 inch for the seam when I'm sewing through here, so be it. Not a big deal. So again, stiff facing, stretched out against the supple shirt. Pretty well pinned there. All right, let's go to the other side. On the other side, same thing, moving away from the center. Collar, corner lapel, secure these edges, and then spread it. Boldly spread it. Boldly, I say. Checking underneath, because again we're going to have to look out for bunching up when we sew. Okay. After that, turn sideways, and you're going to have an easy time fitting all this up. Pin alongside. I guess I'll hit the bottom first. Good. Now go to the other side. And finish up. See how I forgot my notches again on the facing? It's there on the shirt. It's okay, just make it fit. Notches are guidelines. You can live without them or be creative. Okay? Facing in progress. I've pinned kind of liberally, I'll tell you why. Because the top piece is stiff and the underpiece isn't, the underpiece might creep a little bit. So just be aware of that. Okay, approaching the point or lapel. Just going slow because I want to turn and make a really sharp turn. And just move slowly and deliberately. Through the slashed area. When we get to this shoulder seam, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. We've got the thickness of the shoulder seam underneath, the thickness of the facing on top. Now we're at the extreme curve of the back neck, but here's where everything fits on nicely without any effort. Keep moving through. Okay, everything along the straight edges worked out fine for me. However, when I got to the curved pieces, the slashed area, on this side, everything looks good except for a little bunching here, which I will go back and fix. Everything's good here. And on the opposite side, looks like I might have a little bunching right at where the lapel will be and where the collar is underneath. So I'm going to fix that. I definitely have some mix up there that I'll fix. So 3 or 4 little areas, little spot areas I need to fix for best results. See, now all this was hung up in a bunch and I'm still ripping a little area here for what will be a spot fix. Go ahead and trim all of this now, all the way around. I'm going to trim from the shirt side so I can see, I mean, if something were to go wrong, I'd rather it went wrong on the facing because I can always redo that much more easily than if I were to accidentally slash into the shirt. Okay, so trim away. Round that corner like we did with the collar. Keep going. Just take care to kind of feel underneath that where you're cutting everything's free. Free from being cut accidentally. Cutting through the neck now, the back neck. Okay, so half of it is trimmed. Go ahead and do the other half. Now we have a tremendous pressing job ahead of us. I'm going to fold that facing to the inside. Get it all pressed in. You've got another point, well, you got 2 of them, at the lapels to turn right side out and poke pin them out nice and crisp. And when it comes to the rounded back facing piece, that's going to be challenging to press flat. But I've got a little trick up my sleeve. I'll show you. And then get over to the other side. Pull that point out. Get that perfected. And then keep going until you have pressed the facing fully to the inside. Go for it. Okay, the trick for pressing this curved part down is to, again, make this go flat. Pull out the sides. So you just kind of pull them out so that this is laying a little flatter. And it's not like you have to press all the way through here. You just kind of want to press right through there and get it nice. That's just enough to press it down. Okay? It's just a little ways in. You don't have to go clear out here. Just enough. When you put the garment on, it will spread out enough and lay flat alongside the back. It'll all work out. Remember those pockets? We're down at the bottom and we've turned the facing wrong side out because we want to stitch along here to the very end of it because it's going to be turned right side out, much like the collar, and have a nice point here, which will then set us up for the hem that we knew was going to be flush underneath the pocket. Trim just short, about 1/2 inch of the serged edge. Turn right side out. Poke out that point. Now see, here's the midway of the collar, all along that little lapel, down the front closure to the bottom. Nice, neat bottom now. That's going to overlap with buttons and buttonholes. Give it a solid press. See how now it sets you up for the hem? Do that on the other side, and then we're going to top stitch all the way around. All the way around. And what that does is that solidifies everything that we've done. Keeps it in place. Alright? Kind of a toss-up to decide which side to top stitch from. Will it be the front side or the inside? Okay, all beautifully top stitched. All the way along, and then I gave it a nice crisp press